Rheneas' roller coaster ride. The children were going on a field trip around the Skarloey Railway. They were on Bears' local train heading to Crowburn's Gate. Mr. Percival came to see the engines at the shed. "Rheneas," he said, "I have an important job for you." "Oh yes, please, sir," said Rheneas. "You are to give the children a tour of the Skarloey Railway, and you also had to take them to the tea-room station in time for their surprise buffet." "Yes, sir," said Rheneas, but he was worried. "How am I going to make the children's day special?" he thought. "You and Skarloey have worked on the line for years," confronted Rusty. "I'm sure the trip will go well." And he set off to do some maintenance work. When Rheneas arrived at Crowburn's Gate Station with Ada, Jane, and Mabel, the teacher and children were waiting for him. They were excited for their tour. As soon as they went on board, Rheneas steamed along the way. Mr. Percival told Rheneas' driver to show the children the sights. "Here," he said, "is the valley view. This is where people get to have picnics." The children were intrigued, but not Rheneas. He was too focused on thinking how he could make the trip special. As he steamed along, his driver showed the children Harwich Castle. "Here is Harwich Castle," he said. "It was made during medieval times." "How fascinating," one of the children said. As Rheneas went through the tunnel, his driver told the children that it was named after him. "It's also the same tunnel which two engines got stuck in and lost one of their whistles," he said. "My father once read me 2 books about those engines," said a boy. "Really?" said the girl who was behind him. "Yes," replied the boy. "He also told me that a man wrote books about the engines." "Wow," said the girl. Soon Rheneas arrived at the viaduct. "And here is the viaduct, who was also named after Rheneas. It is also where one of the engines who got stuck on it." "Ooh, said the children, but Rheneas was still too focused on making the trip exciting. "I need to find something which will make the trip more exciting," he said. Meanwhile, Rusty was working on the Alston line. The storm that swept across a few days ago made the ground washed away under the track. "These lines are too bumpy and uneven," said the foreman. "The track on the right needs to be closed for repairs." "Understood, sir," said Rusty. "I must make the trip special," Rheneas thought to himself as he passed by Lakeside. Rheneas was still thinking of ideas to make the trip special, but he couldn't think of what. And he didn't realize that the points were set to the Alston line. The driver didn't notice it either until it was too late. Rheneas then realized that he was on the wrong track. "Oh no!" he cried. "This line is closed for repairs! Bust my buffers!" "Be careful!" Rusty called out. "The track up ahead is steep!" "What's going on?" cried the teacher. "We were switched onto the wrong line," said the driver. "Considering the fact of how we were switched on to the wrong line, it appears we're going across the Rocky Ricky line. It has to be the steepest line on the Skarloey Railway. I suggest that you all hold tight." Rheneas whooshed down the line like a roller coaster. The children cheered and the teacher hung on to her hat, which almost blew away. "Whoa!" cried Ada, Jane, and Mabel. As he passed over the bridge, the children oohed and ah. He raced by the mountain village station where Ivyhue was waiting. "Blustering boilers!" he gasped. The teacher covered her eyes as Rheneas puffed along. Then they approached the tea room station. "Brakes, guard, please!" he called, and the guard did. He applied the brakes on the brake van, and soon Rheneas began to slow down. Poor Rheneas felt shaken, and so did Ada, Jane, and Mabel. Mr. Percival was on the platform watching. "Phew!" gasped the teacher. "Just in time for the special buffet we're having." "It was the best school trip ever," said the children. Mr. Percival was proud too. "You gave the children a wonderful trip despite the points failure. You are indeed a really useful engine." "Oh, thank you, sir," said Rheneas proudly. "First I brought the passengers home to a storm and saved the railway, and now I gave the children an unexpected ride. What an eventful day that was." And everyone agreed.